Hi, I'm David Watson. I'm one of the pilots for the Yellow Thunder ride program. Thank you for purchasing your ride. What I'm going to do now is take you through a safety briefing for getting into the Harvard and getting to know its systems. Alright, now the next step is to get inside the airplane. So you're going to be sitting in the back seat as the rider, and the best way to do that is to jump up on the wing, onto the step, and into the cockpit. So I'll demonstrate. So to get up onto the wing, it's quite high. You can grab onto anything you need. This one's good here. Pull yourself up. You can grab onto the front step like that. Turn around. Right foot onto this step here. Grab onto the canopy frame anywhere it's convenient for you. Up. Put your left foot onto the seat inside. Right foot inside. Turn around. There's a handheld here that you can grab on the way down. Put your 2 feet on the rails, which you'll find in a minute. Slide down into the seat. Now you're in. Alright, you're safely in the cockpit. I'm just going to give you a short orientation. You might be wanting to know where you put your limbs and whatnot. So when you're in here, you'll see there's 2 green rails down there. If you put your feet down these rails and put them right back up here in a nice comfortable position where the wear marks are, like so, that's the best place to put your feet. You do not want to touch those pedals. The pedals are flight controls and also brakes, and so we don't want you touching those. On the left hand side here, we've also got the throttle for the engine. It's also where you would press this button here to talk to the pilot, but we'll cover that in another segment. As far as your hands, you can place your hands on your knees like this. Out of the way of everything is fine. You can also put your hands up on the shroud, anywhere up here. There's a handhold up here that might be handy to grab onto as well. I'm going to show you how to use the seat belts. So it's a twist lock system. If you look on the end, it says fasten. There's an undo position and an undo position. So how this operates, when it's in a fasten position, you can clasp in the 3 spots. There's one for your lap and one each for your shoulders. I'll show you how. And let's just go do that now. This is my lap belt, usually the first one to go in. Make sure it's on the far slot, so the other 2 are still for your shoulders. And it's in the fasten position, like so. Grab the seat belts. One on the left, one on the right. If you need to adjust them, you pull this little wee tab here and pull on the strap. And then again, you can do the same thing to tighten it up. Same operation happens on the lap belt. Pull it down, push it in, and then pull this strap like so. And now we're in. So on the operation of this seat belt, so let's say we need to get out. Whenever you want to get out, how you undo the seat belt is you move this to the undo position. This one or this one, either one will work. And when you do that, they all spring free. Okay, now you probably want to know how to operate the canopy. So how it works is basically it's a simple sliding operation. This is a lock. You unlock this by pulling this back, and then you can freely move the canopy back and forth. You'll see here that there's some intermediate locks. If I don't hold it all the way, it'll stop part way. So if you want to close the canopy, you pull this back and you hold it all the way back while you close the canopy. Alright, you may have noticed that when I move this to close the canopy, I use my opposite arm. It's typically easier to use your opposite arm instead of trying to reach back with this one. So use your opposite arm, reach over your body, pull this handle like I showed you before, pull the canopy open like so, hold it open as you go, and then release. Okay, let's cover an emergency situation. So let's say something's happened and you want to get out of the aircraft in an emergency method. You're either on the airport in a crash or you're in a field and you want to get out. The appropriate thing to do is to open the canopy, you pulling this canopy forward as I explained earlier. Or if you cannot get the canopy open, let's say it's jammed, the appropriate thing to do is to pull this T-handle down. That will free the window. You push the window out and this becomes your opening so that you can extract. It works on both sides. Now, Yellow Thunder has 2 types of aircraft, very few differences between them. The biggest one, if you don't see this T-handle, then the appropriate thing to do is to hit it hard, the glass hard with your elbow, and the glass will pop out. It's designed to do that. It's a pop-out glass. Alright, in the event of an emergency situation, whether it happens at the airport or in a field someplace, something happens, we need you to know that we want you to stay in the aircraft until we tell you it's okay, it's safe to leave. In the event that we're unconscious for some reason, then you can use the training that we've given you to open the cockpit, unload your seat belts, and you leave the aircraft on your own power.
Both airplanes have an emergency locator transmitter. One is just behind the back seat here, and on the other airplane, it's inaccessible down here. They are designed to start sending an emergency signal with a sudden jar, and don't need any interaction from either the pilot or a co-pilot in an off-field landing. Both airplanes have first aid kits, and they are located in the baggage compartment. To get access to the baggage compartment, press the top of the latch, which will pop the baggage door open. Then you can grab the bottom of the baggage door and swing it upwards.
Alright, so here's our headset, and this is how we're going to keep the big noise out of your ears, and also it's a way for us to communicate, for you as a passenger, communicate with your pilot. The headset goes on like this. You can adjust the muffs up and down by adjusting them this way. So you adjust them to fit your ears, like so. When you put the microphone boom here into position, move it very close to your lips. If the microphone is too far out, it picks up a lot of ambient noise and doesn't work very well. So put it right up against your mouth like so. And when you want to talk to the pilot, what you have to do is on the throttle handle, there's a small button here. Push down on this button, down pointing inside the airplane, means that you're talking on the intercom, and you can speak to the pilot. When you're finished talking, just release the handle, and the pilot will then talk to you on the intercom.
Our apologies for the audio problems. We were having wind problems with our microphone with the weather coming in. Anyway, David here is describing how to get out of the airplane, and it's really the reverse of getting in. So after you get the canopy opened up, you're going to want to stand up, stabilize yourself on with the side of the airplane. There's a handhold there that you can use. Stand yourself up, stand on the seat, turn around so you're facing the rear of the airplane, and that way you'll be able to bring your right foot up and out and onto this step, and then just bring your left foot up out of the airplane and slide it down the side down to that black walkway on the wing. And then you can bring your right foot out and either jump down, or you can sit down there and down to the ground you go. There is a last little bit of information that you need to know before your flight about Yellow Thunder's ride program. Yellow Thunder does not have a commercial air operator certificate such as Air Canada or WestJet or the like in Canada. So normally we would not be able to sell rides. We do, however, have a ministerial exemption that Transport Canada has provided that permits us to offer rides to paying passengers. And what that means is that under certain conditions, we are able to sell these rides. Keeping in mind that we're not operating under a commercial operator certificate and that we are running under that exemption. And the airplanes aren't like commercial modern air carriers, and they are 80 years old. You need to understand that there is an inherent risk of flying in these airplanes or going for a ride in these airplanes. That's a higher risk than the modern airplanes, and the activity could result in serious injury or death. We will provide to you a waiver just before your flight that indicates that you've watched this video and you understand that there are these inherent risks, and for you to agree to that. And at any time you're able to stop the process and decide not to go for the flight. The exemption that we are flying under was attached to the email that you were sent out when you booked the flight, and we will also have a copy available on the airplane if you want to review it before you go for your ride. And last, but certainly not least, both Dave and I hope that you guys have a great experience flying in our airplanes. We'll see you then.